There
is little something the internet of like 15, 20 years ago was even more chaotic, I think, than it is today. There were no rules, there were no filters. Basically, think of it as a giant funhouse, right? You would go into one room hoping for one kind of content, and you would get 20 other things that would be mostly deeply disturbing, and maybe you would kind of move on with your life and talk about the disturbing things that you stumbled upon on the internet 20 years later in therapy. Which is exactly how I stumbled upon my very first dirty fan fiction at the age of 13, totally by accident, because there was no tags and stuff. Of course, there was fanfiction.net, and I think it did have tags at the time. But there were also all of these like bootleg fan fiction websites that were built on things like X pages and Yahoo pages that were all Comic Sans and glitter and chaos. So anyway, I'm reading this Cardcaptor Sakura fanfiction. I have no idea what to expect, and suddenly things start to get really, really down and dirty. And of course, I'm shocked, horrified, appalled, and dramatically I sprint to my bedroom. My brain irrevocably changed, and I start sobbing. I am a broken human being at this point. So of course, now that I'm a shell of a human being, the only thing left to do is to tell my best friend, Laura, about this. So the next day I go to school, I tell Laura, oh my god, I read this horrible thing. I can't believe people are writing this, because, you know, back then I'm like dramatic and stuff. And she's like, I don't believe that this actually exists. You have no choice but to show me. So of course, the next day I show up at her house, and together we read it on her old school MacBook. And we were both like, oh my god, this is horrible. Why would someone write this thing? Because, you know, we're prudes. And we decide that we're never going to speak about this ever again. Weeks go by, Laura and I have moved on with our lives, and then one day I go to Laura and say, hey, is it okay if I come to your house? And she says, no, you can't. And I'm like, why? Why can't I go to your house? And she says, it's because she told her mom about the fan fiction that we read together. And the worst part is that she told her mom that I am the one who introduced her to the dirty fan fiction, and now her mom thinks I am a sexual deviant. So of course I'm absolutely dismayed that she would tell her mom this. And I'm just like, why didn't you at least say that you accidentally stumbled upon this? Why did you put this on me? And all she says is, I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, now I'm not allowed to go to my best friend's house for like literally a year or two. So anyway, then months go by, right? And I start to get really into Sailor Moon. And of course, I'm shipping Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask really, really hard. And I start downloading all of this beautiful artwork of the two of them. And they're kind of like embracing or kissing or whatever. It's very romantic. And I thought it was very cute. But I keep it all in this like little private folder. I stuff it in a drawer right by my bed. And every so often, I look at this folder and I think about true love and how beautiful it is. But I also am terrified that someday someone will discover this. And of course, one day it is my mom who in fact discovers it. So I go into my bedroom, I see my mom standing in the middle of the room. She has that folder, that sacred folder open, and she's like, Farah, what is this? And I'm just like, it's just artwork. And she's like, this is just like the time with Laura, isn't it? She knew about the whole thing with Laura, and so now my mom thinks I'm a sexual deviant. And the best part is, I now write rom-coms for a living. The world works in mysterious ways.
What's going on? All these weird videos on TikTok that are like, they're kind of adverts, but I don't know what they're advertising. I mean, what's the deal with these videos where it's just a bunch of people, like, pretending to be asleep?
Wake up! Wake up! FBI, open up!
Or pretending to be in an office job. And then they have people who are watching their live stream press buttons. One of them is the guy who, he seems to be forever trying to build a house of cards. You might have seen him.
So don't send a galaxy, otherwise I have to knock this whole card tower down. If we get literally one more galaxy, I have to knock this card tower down. Let me just finish.
He's got like the sad face filter on, and he's just getting very frustrated the whole time that people keep sending a galaxy, whatever the fuck that is, and when they send a galaxy, he has to knock the card house down and start again. I've seen this about 40 times, at different times of the day and night. Am I to believe that this man is just relentlessly trying to build a house of cards and knocking them down and screaming into the camera for days, weeks on end? And if so, what does he get out of that? It just doesn't make sense. Like these ones with the big screen, they've got a stick and they've got a big screen that looks like a giant smartphone, and they're just liking random profiles and following people randomly. There's the one where it's like a bath of crystals, and they're just like, it's just a vibrating bath, and they're just like scooping out random crystals. There's lots of people doing this. There's one that looks like he's dressed like Spider-Man, and you can stop him from being Spider-Man by pressing a button which plays a fart sound effect. Why?
Fragile white people talking about historic architecture.
Look at all these
the videos are sometimes long.
European architecture. Aren't they just wonderful? Sometimes you really forget that humans are capable of such greatness. These were all made by extraterrestrials. There is no way those stupid desert-dwelling camel jockeys are capable of such greatness. They're way too stupid and simple-minded. We don't even have the technology to replicate this. Aliens came to Earth, dropped some shit, and left.
This isn't that far off.
Just make sure to
It
bring the
is
key
so
back.
awesome.
What is this? Oh, sorry. It's a men's. It's a women's. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Jesus
Anytime
was a
anyone tells me that
socialist.
they identify
It is
as a
so
Christian, I
awesome.
always make sure to ask for clarity so that I can more accurately respect their beliefs. Do you follow the classic brown-skinned, socialist, bleeding heart liberal, love everybody regardless of who they love or worship, feed the hungry, house the homeless Jesus? Or the more modern-day, whitewashed, Republican nationalist, condemn everybody to hell, immigrant-hating, money-loving, judgmental Jesus? Because there's a difference.
Do you get
You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. You know, it's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant, and no matter whenever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant because that's how I identify. Makes no sense. You don't get your own pronouns. That's grammar. That's language.
So you think it's a delusion? Someone is self-delusional.
Yeah, I think it's delusion. It could be mental illness. It could be it's a lot of different things. With children, you know, there's also just a basic confusion that all kids have.
I'm so attracted to your cough. Sometimes even TikToks.
I'll keep you safe in this house of mine.
This was better than the game itself. He is the best shorts maker.